Welcome back to this edition of Grizzlies Daily. I'm your host Melek, and I'm going to give y'all a fair warning right now. Your boy's dealing with something serious right now. I actually had to call out of my other job because it was just, I don't know if I have like a stomach bug or something, but it's pretty bad. So I don't know how long this video is going to be, but I'm making sure to get one out to y'all, so just stay tuned. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, turn on post notifications because it helps the channel out and it helps you all stay informed of when the next video comes out. So let's get straight to the nitty gritty. The Grizzlies, they play a Rockets team that has seemingly kind of figured things out since the first week of games. Grizzlies trying to snap their losing streak. Rockets are 4-2. Looks like they're coming off a good win against the Celtics on the road, and then beating the Mavericks at home. And then, so yeah, the Rockets on a 4-game win streak right now after dropping their first two of the season. So yeah, it seems like the Rockets are kind of figuring things out. Um, when it comes to this game, I think me personally, and I truly think me personally when I think this, I think the Grizzlies should try out a different lineup for this game. I understand why they have the lineup that they have, but I think for this game you might want to switch it up. I think implement Cedric Howard into the starting lineup because the Rockets have one of the tallest lineups in the league, and I think you're definitely going to need all the height you can get, all the length you can get because regardless of who it is, Jock Landale or Jaren, they're going to have their hands full with Şengün and Kevin Durant. And then when it comes to Amen Thompson, you're going to need somebody that fits him. Now, I don't know who. I think out of both of KCP and Jalen Wells, I think you. I think for defensive purposes, you would drop Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. Not saying he's a bad defender, he's not. But I think if you want to match somebody up with a guy like Amen Thompson or whoever is on the court, I think a Cedric Howard Jalen Wells duo would be good on the court. I could be wrong, but I think that's just something I want to see. And plus, Cedric Howard has worked his way to a starting lineup. Let's just be honest. He's worked his way to a starting lineup. Obviously, Jalen Wells dealing with a very serious shooting slump right now. I think he's going to get through it. It's just, sophomore slump. Things like that happen. It is what it is. But I don't think it's something to be discouraged about with Jalen Wells. And one thing we've learned as Grizzlies fans is don't jump the gun because – hey, say what you want. Jake LaRavia is hooping in LA for right now. I say right now, not as a knock to Jake. It's just for some reason, every time the Lakers get somebody that wasn't really the best on another team, they start out good, and then closer to the time where it actually matters, people want them off the team, kind of thing. So that's all I'm saying on that. But yeah, I think I think when you play the Rockets, keep the threes low. Please keep the 3-pointers low. Because one thing about this Rockets team, they will run the fast break. And you do not want to get beat on the fast break again like you did against Detroit. And, well, not Detroit, but Toronto. You don't want to get beat on the fast break. So keep it low. Keep 3-point attempts low. Attack the paint more. That is something that I have not seen when it comes to this team. They don't attack the paint a lot. Definitely want to keep the turnovers low. Like I said, you want to limit fast breaks. Rockets are going to get it. I would not be surprised if the Rockets win the rebounding battle. I'm not going to be surprised on that part. All we can hope is that Jaren does what he can and gets above 5-6 rebounds in this game because we're going to need every bit of it. Stop, well, stopping KD, and I don't know if you could do that, but just limit what you can defensively because, like I said, this team is figuring it out, and right now the Grizzlies are in a tight spot, and there's no telling what's going to happen. But, yeah, I'm looking forward to the game. I'll be there. Well, if I can. But if I can, I'll be there. Make sure to say what's up. I won't have no problem. As far as the game goes, Zach Edey still is out with let's see, still out with ankle surgery recovery. Not surprised. Like I said, at most we should see Edey be questionable sometime next week. I'm hoping that we see that, or maybe 2 weeks. I don't know. I think he definitely comes back sometime before Thanksgiving because he's just making good progress with the surgery recovery. As far as everybody else, I don't know. Maybe we get an update on Ty Jerome in the next few weeks or next week or two. I don't know when they said they reevaluate him. I have to go back and look. But yeah, so that's how that's looking right now. Good thing is Ja is playing. So one thing I think we can say for right now, Ja's injury woes are kind of put on pause for now. He's doing a very good job of playing. But with Ja playing, I'm gonna make this as unbiased as I can for the side of Ja and Isolo because I'm gonna be honest. I think in all of this drama, there's one person to blame that we have not heard from. That I'm kind of surprised we haven't heard from. That we need to hear from because this is your franchise that we're talking about. Zach Kleiman, what are you doing? Respectfully, I gotta be honest. Why have we not heard anything from the general manager that has made these moves to essentially come up with this team? And you haven't said a single word. You've been quiet this entire time. Now, granted, I'm gonna let the first few days slide because, hey, you thought this was gonna be an internal matter that can be handled. Fine, brother. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. We are on Wednesday. This is 6 days since this all started, and you haven't said a single word. I gotta be honest. What is going on? And I really think it gets to a point where we have to come to an understanding, and this is the point I was trying to make to people. If anything gets blown past this, I think at most Isolo gets the boot, but the person that probably should get the boot is Zach Kleiman. And I hate to say that because Zach Kleiman he's great at drafting players. Obviously, you had some misses with David Roddy, Zaire Williams. Jacob Arabia is not a miss. It just didn't work out. But he's great at drafting players. He's great. The scouting team, amazing. The problem is Zach Kleiman can't do much in the offseason. He keeps what he can, but after that, don't expect much else. Don't expect us to go after anybody. And I feel like that's a problem. Yes, when you get Ty Jerome, beautiful. Love that. The only problem is, did you really need another backup point guard? Did you really? Now, granted, yes, Ty Jerome can play shooting guard, but let's just be honest. Ty Jerome is better at point guard. I got to be honest. I think Zach Kleiman truly is, one of the people that needs to get the blame for majority of this. And I feel like the national media isn't doing justice by that because they don't follow the team that much. That's why I say it's important to pay attention to your local media and see what they're saying because they know truly what's going on. Not ESPN, not Bleacher Report, not even Shams. They don't know anything. They don't know much about the Grizzlies. They may know a lot about the big markets and all this and that and the big name players, but when it comes to the Grizzlies, they don't know much about it. But switching gears off of that, that's my thoughts on Zach Kleiman. When it comes to Isolo, I got to be honest. We 8 games into the year, bro. I was a fan of the system. I liked how it was going to look at first, but I got to be honest. You got to tweet some things. You got to tweet some things, bro. Just being real. The amount of shots, the amount of 3-point shots I'm seeing, I don't like that because I knew this team wasn't going to be a great team from 3. And I literally said this before the season even started. The Grizzlies do not need to shoot that many threes. Just being honest. And I got to be real. The system it needs tweaking because it doesn't cater to anybody. It really doesn't. Ja is struggling like crazy right now. You got a whole other guy that y'all just paid 240 M's to. Use him. I know we have our criticisms on Jaren Jackson, but let's be real, man. Like, use him. You can say fouling all you want, but the reality of the matter is, outside of the first quarter, Jaren Jackson Jr. does not get the ball that much. And I feel like that is a problem because, like I said, you're paying this guy $240 million. Use him. He's also a part of this core. I get Josh a start, but at the same time, use Jaren Jackson. And like I said, I already know it's going to be somebody in the comments talking about well, Jaren fouls too much and Jaren doesn't rebound and all this and that. Yes, we know that. But the reality of the matter is, offensively, Jaren Jackson Jr. is not getting nearly enough touches as he should. And I know that because, and this is going to switch over to Ja. Like I said, Izalo, I think you need to tweak that system. Obviously, when Zach Edey comes back, it's going to look a lot better. But you need to tweak the system. Too many threes, too many empty possessions. That's just the reality of it. But I say all this because, I mean, let's be real. I rock with Ja. I defend Ja. I've read every single take I could when it comes to Ja and how he's handling the situation. I even saw a video on Carmelo Anthony kind of giving him some great advice, probably the best analysis since Blake Griffin. But let's just be honest. Ja Morant, brother, I'm looking at your stats right now. 39% from the field, 14% from three. That's sad. Like, that's actually sad. And it's crazy because his playmaking isn't even bad. He's averaging like 7 assists. One thing about Ja, he's going to give you good playmaking. Granted, he really needs to slow the turnovers down because right now he's averaging 3.4, which he's averaging 2.9. My bad, I'm looking at his career. Yeah, he hasn't had a season where he hasn't averaged less than three turnovers a game. It's just like, but the shooting is what concerns me more than anything. If the shot ain't falling, stop shooting the three, please. I watched an analysis about his game against Detroit. He barely took shots around the rim, and I don't know why. I get it. It's helping Josh stay healthy. You don't want him flying in the air, all this and that, landing awkwardly. Oh, I didn't see that. I didn't see that. But it's just, I'm sorry. I looked at an article all this and that, but I read it wrong. But yeah, it's just like, dude, if the shot ain't falling, please just attack the rim. I think in the Pistons game there were like 2 plays, maybe 2, where he got around the rim and actually, scored the basket in the paint. Like, dude, if it's not falling, please. I get what you're trying to do, but at the same time, let's be real, bruh. You did not work that 3-point shot that you've been working on. It ain't working. This ain't an Anthony Edwards situation where you just completely revamp your game, bruh. It's not working. Please switch it up, because right now it's hurting the team. Now, granted, look, we need your presence, need it, absolutely need it. But right now, it is hard for me to think that you are not hurting the team with these 3-point shots. I think I read a stat where he has like the same, if not more, air balls than 3-point makes. Like, dude, when are we gonna realize, enough is enough? Drive the ball. Like, come on, drive the ball, or at least figure something out, because we all know you're not that good when it comes to playing off ball. So, like, figure something out. Like, we all want to see the same success for the Grizzlies, and right now we're not seeing that because a lot of guys just aren't. They're trying to play a different game that isn't theirs, and that's just the problem. But switching gears, I asked you all to leave your opinions on the season and what's going on so far, and I have your comments pulled up right here. So we got one from Eagle 8. Right here it says, I agree 100%. The owner is hiding behind his GM. The stud of blaming players for not advancing in the playoffs is old. Dylan and now Ja. I got to be honest, Robert Perry is, one of these days I hope he actually sells the team to somebody else, because I want an owner that actually cares. I swear, a lot of people don't even know Robert Perry is the owner. That's how quiet he is in all this. But then again, you get a guy who doesn't know a lick of Memphis, just saw it as a multi-million-dollar opportunity, then that's what you're gonna get. We got bro, you never told me how to pronounce your name. I just realized. Chris Wag, you never told me how to pronounce your name. So I'm gonna until you tell me how to pronounce it. That's how I'm gonna pronounce it. I'm sorry, but he says first. Let's talk about how Jaren and Aldama were dominated by Stewart. Stewart looked like an all-star. He did. I ain't gonna lie. That was crazy. Ja had 2 clear turnovers. 2 were guys was clearly out of position. 1 was great defense. The East Low system isn't working. Bassey deserves a roster spot. Once again, Wells is not ready to start. KCP, Vince Williams, Conchar, and Brandon Clark need a trade like tomorrow. Why they bring back Aldama back? Why did they bring Aldama back? Maybe someone would be willing to take Aldama and Vince Williams Jr. for a first. Ooh, that is asking for a lot. I can't lie. So real quick, just want to talk about just want to talk about the Detroit game. There will be definitely moments where Ja did hurt the comeback effort, so that's something right there. I've already addressed the Easlo system. I don't think it's working either. When it comes to Bassey, he's a hard worker, absolute hard worker. The only problem is who, unless you make a trade, you can't give Bassey a roster spot. That's just the reality of it. And then it looks like Edie's coming back, so you can't even sign him to a 10-day anymore because you're going to have only 3 players that are out for a length amount of time. So that's the unfortunate spot with Bassey. Wells is not ready to start. I think right now, yeah, Wells needs to definitely come off the bench and figure it out until he does, because right now that slump is really killing this game. And he's had some great looks. That's the crazy part. Wells has had some great looks. KCP, Vince Williams Jr., Conchar, and Brandon Clark need a trade like tomorrow. Yeah, I'd say everybody, but maybe Vince. But only if the capital you're getting back is worth more than keeping Vince around, then sure. But I think you keep Vince. Everybody else, I agree with. Why did they bring Aldama back? Oh, I don't know. I really don't. And I like Aldama, but I gotta be honest, I don't know. Reading the replies, Dr. Windows, Jalen Wells, KCP don't deserve to start. Same thing for Edie. I'm sorry, he's slow to play with John Moran. Ja will be transferred or Easel will be fired. Thibodeau could be a great coach for them, I think. Oh no. No. I gotta be honest. I was kinda with you. But Tom Thibodeau? Oh, brother. Oh no. I'm not gonna watch my point guard down the court. I'm sorry, I can't do that. I just can't. This one is from Philip Pentelik. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. He says right here, I consider myself a big Grizzlies fan, but what am I watching waking up at 3 a.m.? Soft players, no grit, no grind. Respect to Serge Cow, the only one with Conchar really leaving their soul out on the floor. I'm upset with our star behaving like a kid. No defense, no threes. I don't know what's going on in his mind. Ask him why he can't shoot after 7 years in the league at $40 million salary. Yeah, I gotta be honest. Ja's not really looking good. Obviously, I want Ja on the team, but right now it's like, bro, you have not improved how we thought you would, and everybody can see that. You don't even. I gotta be honest. I know I was talking about. How the national media doesn't know what they're doing, but it's hard for me to listen to some of the analysis on Ja Morant and not think they're wrong. Because I mean, they're being honest. He has not improved on the shot in year 7. I got to be honest. So that's something right there. And a reply from Day Trader Kev: Ja was never a good shooter to begin with. His strengths are driving to the basket for floaters or layups. Don't get me wrong, he can shoot, but just not at a high efficiency clip. Ja's shooting percentage is horrible. He takes bad shots, and you need a guy like Steven Adams to clear space for him. You're now slowly seeing Ja's flaws as an NBA player, and that's why I think Zach Edey comes in. Zach Edey is going to create this space for Ja. So I think that's something right there. And obviously, Ja just needs to drive more. Just got to be honest. Not saying he has to be completely fearless, but he has to be fearless. Like, that's just reality of it. This from Michael Carter. Game after game, the final Grizzlies analytics convey quite a bit since they're the primarily driving force being considered in today's stat-driven NBA, regardless of success and failure. Atrocious would be putting it kindly. The Grizzlies plus-minus analytics in the games thus far, especially the losses, have been filled with more minuses than pluses. It's absolutely frustrating to look up at the scoreboard and see all 5 Grizzlies players on the floor posting negatives pretty much every game, with some being double-digit. Who deserves the blame? At least some. I'll wait because it sure ain't the players subbing and attempting to get in some type of rhythm out there. What's the Grizzlies' defensive offensive philosophy now? Where did they hang their hat on as a team? 0 post presence, 0 pick and roll action. Yeah, it really is bad. It really is bad. It's just like, I don't know what it is, but I definitely do think there needs to be a game where Islo just simply is like, hey, starters, y'all playing 35 minutes this game. 35. That's why I say it gets to a point where you do have to think Cedric Howard deserves that starting spot, because let's just be real. There needs to be a point where the starters are playing heavy minutes like every other team in the league. Yes, the others. I think the only way the others should play more than the only way the others should take more minutes away from the starters is if they're playing absolutely good. Absolutely fantastic. Other than that, I don't agree. Now, granted, yes, I know the Grizzlies aren't the healthiest, but We got to call a spade a spade. These boys need to be playing 30 minutes and more. Just being real. Um, this from Hillbilly 21960. European ball is better played than the NBA, but you can't expect men to adjust to something they should have learned as a kid. Stars shine in the NBA, teams shine in Europe. And yeah, I do think there's a big disconnect between Euro ball and NBA ball. We've seen it before, and I definitely do think that is something that's also kind of hurting the transition. So yeah, I do agree with that. This is from Brandon F6962. Stop the BS, get Mike Malone. Hey, look, y'all remember in the all season, I genuinely was like, I think they should entertain the interview. I like a championship level coach, so hopefully that's still on the table. I know he working at ESPN right now, but I know he'll be quick to take a job offer. Just gotta offer it to him. This one's from Sylvester Williams. Help, Lord Jesus. I agree. John Password, fire T.I. and his whole staff. Also made some trades to actually put us in championship contention. I agree. It also doesn't help that Zach Kleiman fired the guy who was behind our offense, and now he's in Miami, and Miami is one of the best offenses to watch in the league. That also doesn't help. This one is from Jason562. Dylan is overrated. Ask Houston. I don't think anyone expects him to make an all-star team. He's getting paid properly for what he does. Yeah. I mean, I agree with both. I got nothing to say on that. And last comment, this from Scrap Nice. The coach is lost, and it's easy to see Josh so close to it and has to deal with it every day. Who would be happy? I think there needs to be a point where Josh just simply takes over the game. I got to be honest. And this is why I say it's hard for me to just completely blame Izolo. Because when you see Ja out here shooting constantly and knowing the shot isn't falling, how can I blame the coach for that? Genuinely, how can I? Like, I know we have our thoughts about Izolo, but we got to call a spade with Ja. You are a superstar in this league. You should know when the system ain't working and when it is. If the system ain't working, change it. What's he going to do? Like, just being honest, what is he going to do? And if he does anything, guess what? Then we talk about letting him go. But for right now, it is hard for me to be on the Izolo has to go train when the star isn't even trying to fix the system. Like, let's just be honest. Ja isn't doing much to help fix the issue. And that's really a problem right there. So I think everybody has a valid point, but all parties in this need to be held accountable. That's just the reality of it. All parties need to be held. Zach Kleiman needs to speak up and actually do something. And that's really what it is. I think that's all it is. I don't think there's going to be a point where Ja just is like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Ja has to play better. That's just the reality. Ja has to play. This is the reality. Ja has to play better. Izolo has to coach better. And Kleiman has to be a better GM and actually be aggressive. I got to be honest. I'm saying this and then I'm getting out of here. I just watched the NFL trade deadline. Jerry Jones is more aggressive than Zach Kleiman, and that's saying something. Like, is it too much to ask for a little trade to help the team every now and then? Not just a blockbuster trade where you go send one of your core pieces to another team, and we look at that team, and right now the Magic do not look good at all. In fact, Desmond got ejected last night, but even then, I don't even think that would have helped them. Just being real. Like, can I get a Howie Roseman type GM where the Eagles just magically get every player that helps them? I don't know. It's a lot to ask for. I know we're a small market, but please, everybody just need to do their job. I think once everybody does their job, spirits will be good, team's going to win, everything's fine. But that's going to wrap this edition of Grizzlies Daily. I really appreciate y'all for tuning in. And another thing before I leave out of here, we are in that November stretch that I was pointing out before the season started. This is going to be a tough stretch of games. And right now, I think we're seeing the effects of that already. I said we needed to look out for this stretch, and right now, it's literally hurting the team as we speak. So, we'll talk more about it after the game tonight against the Houston Rockets. It starts at 7 at the FedEx Forum. Make sure to turn on post notifications so you get notified when that video does come out tomorrow. And I appreciate y'all for tuning in and sticking with me. I really appreciate it.